They are out of control by Decoy Voice.
This scene from San Diego doesn't.
He's trapped in his
like
apartment in
America
California.
anymore,
It blows.
But it's exactly what I voted
Tomeshi says California blows. When are you moving out?
for. As ICE conducted a surprise raid on a restaurant in San Diego, with the
What?
residents getting very upset.
Wait, real?
Even trying to block the cop's car.
Wow! Great!
Ice, go home! What's this?
Wait, what is... They should just arrest all these people.
Loud bangs and smoke filled the air as stun grenades exploded on the streets of South Park. U.S. Immigration and
Wait, did they say... What'd they say?
the air as stun grenades exploded on the streets of South Park.
See South Park?
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement
I could see this in South Park. Like,
agents using the devices to scatter the crowd of people blocking their cars and cussing at agents. General Manager Renato Amatrano says agents provided a warrant and scanned everyone's IDs. He believes 3 employees could not provide identification and were taken away.
So contrary to what they want you to think, they aren't just shaking down random brown people in the streets. It seems they're going after specific criminals that haven't turned themselves in, then collecting anybody also undocumented that they discover collaterally. But this also exposes their boss for knowingly employing them and potentially others, as the Trump administration has already handed out millions of dollars of fines for. So someone with a warrant could have used the CBP app to self-deport, get a free ride home, and receive $1,000. But
wait, what? What? You just get $1,000 for deporting yourself? I mean, seems like a pretty good deal. I mean, you get tear gas rounded up at your work and then deported, or you get $1,000. I mean, I don't know.
Self-deport, get a free ride home, and receive one.
You also get the free. You also get the free ride. You get the free flight and the $1,000.
$1,000. But instead, they'll send a couple of their friends home with them. But when the local news outlets report on it, the outrage only seemed to face ICE. As they called it, people in military tactical gear, playing like they're in Afghanistan, just screwing with people on a nice Friday. Although they did indeed detain 2 of the workers, and the restaurant couldn't open for dinner after. So maybe there was a reason they went after that specific restaurant, but they conveniently made that the smallest part of their report. So now more of these fools are contributing to the problem.
Just listened to the ICE raid in San Diego at the Italian restaurant, where they took the manager and the workers, and the people stepped up and surrounded ICE, which was great because they did not show a warrant to anybody.
General Manager Renato Amatrano says agents provided a warrant and scanned everyone's IDs.
Got me thinking, we need to start carrying wire cutters, a pair of wire cutters in our pocket. Doesn't take up much room. Yeah, you could use them for zip ties, but you can also use them for valve stems on vehicle tires.
I really believe he thinks he's some sort of crafty freedom fighter, but I'm pretty certain he just committed a felony. As hyper-left Reddit also went in on the situation, writing long mod posts complaining about how many resources went into this, saying, if it can happen to us, it can happen to you. Again, more fear-mongering, trying to rally their base into action, as there were plenty of posts thanking the people blocking the cops. But then an awful lot of body shaming, talking about them being the Navy SEALs, which is rich coming from Reddit, as they're likely singling out this specific copper, who is admittedly large, but more of a lineman build than anything. As if I was assembling a squad, I'd take him over any of these idiots screeching with their phones out. Just because the police show restraint doesn't mean they're afraid, but now they're pounding on their chests as if they actually accomplish anything.
I mean, you want that dude kicking the door down, right? Yeah.
Other than increasing the amount of police resources that will be spent on the next raid. As all across the country, work sites...
Yeah, right. Not a Prinny, that's a good point. Don't be fat phobic bigot unless it's to cops. Yeah, obviously, yeah. it's like I said, none of the stuff that they say is like, it's not, there's no consistency. There's no like real logic behind it. It's just, you know, it's just whatever benefits them. They don't have any real beliefs.
Like the one in Florida are being raided as well. With the local Florida outlets doing montages of women crying.
Correa could not hold back her pain. She screams injustice after her husband was placed on an expedited deportation order after showing up to his immigration check-in in Miami. Immigration court attorney Antonio Ramos
I see.
tells us this is now the new normal.
What I have been seeing is, out of that few people, most of them, they have crimes, previous crimes.
Where this man's wife also got detained, which is an incredibly sad scene.
Yep.
But kinda deranged how Twitter users shoved the camera in the husband's face, with Reddit highlighting how the kid was crying. They really think if we see something sad enough, the country's just gonna forget it has laws. But after the Maryland
Yeah, the bottom line is, you wouldn't be in this position if you didn't break the law. So it looks sad, but it looks sad, and you know, definitely for the kid, like that's upsetting, because like, you know, the kid has nothing to do with this, but in the end, you know, like they fucked around and they found out. Just because like it looks sad, and just because it looks sad, and like, you know, you have like the kid crying, you have the husband crying, doesn't mean that the laws shouldn't be followed.
man fiasco turning out to be a
They basically did this to themselves by breaking the law in the first place.
dangerous gang member. The general public doesn't know what to believe anymore, and the montages of crying families just feels manipulative. As this is the same
It
exact.
is. It is. I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, but it's obviously sad. This was very funny, by the way. Hey, yo, is that my favorite? Is that my favorite big booty
Boy they
Latina?
tried to use back in 2019 when they cried outside empty cages in a white suit.
Did you guys know that my alt Steam account is AOC Big Booty Latina TTV? It's real.
But said absolutely nothing about the hundreds of thousands of
I love whenever I pick up a bounty in Hunt Showdown. It says AOC Big Booty. It tells like the entire server. AOC Big Booty Latina TTV has picked up the bounty. It's amazing.
missing kids during the Biden administration, where even when the reporting tried to downplay the story, they admitted the missing kids are at risk. They just can't suggest that all the missing kids are in danger. So good to know they have a certain percentage of acceptable losses that only exists when Trump isn't in office. But now that he is, once he tries to fix it, places like New York
They should just deport them together.
City will also try to block ICE.
You will be placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct. This is the New York City Police Department. You are unlawfully in the roadway. Since you have refused to leave the roadway, you will be placed under arrest on the charge of disorderly conduct.
And in Boston, people are bragging about stopping them on social media.
Remember, you are the major power.
Bro, I thought that was a Karen.
You will be placed under arrest on the charge of disorderly conduct.
And in Boston, people are bragging about stopping them on social media.
Remember, you are the major power in your community. If you show up with people you trust quickly, you can protect kids, you can protect families. So form information networks, know where ICE is in your community, and show up. They will just leave. They are not brave enough to steal kids when an entire community comes around to protect them.
Not even aware who they are protecting.
ICE says they were surveilling a murderer's home in their car when a crowd surrounded their vehicle, blew their cover.
Oh my god. So they don't even know, oh my god. They don't even know who they're protecting. It's just because their skin is brown. This is actually like, remember what I said earlier about just like it's comedic, like it's so funny, like.
And they had to pull off the target. Again, a murderer.
Wow. This is when identity politics gets dangerous. Assuming police are always bad and their targets are always good is something only criminals and people that blissfully think they'll never be victimized will believe. So where exactly are they getting this idiotic ideology? from their political leaders, like this Tennessee state representative.
This is great. We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win. Your favorite blonde state rep. So they're probably running our information.
Oh my God, Roachstradamus. He's just always right.
But even Congress people in New Jersey are doing the same, where apparently she even shoved an ICE officer, but now is being charged for assault. And even Congressman Nadler's staffer was seen being arrested for allegedly harboring someone. So I really wonder how long they'll gleefully display their defiance when their friends all start getting jail sentences, as it sounds scary that this administration would start throwing politicians in prison, but they brought it upon themselves when they actually convicted Trump of several felonies. But why exactly are they so desperately defending this, knowing the majority of Americans voted for Trump specifically for his border policies? As Congressman Burleson shows us, it's probably money.
California figured this out, that they can force the federal government to spend $9 for every $1 that it spends, and they're using it to launder money. They raise taxes on managed care companies, the companies that are providing Medicaid. So they go to these companies and say, we're going to tax you, but don't worry, we're going to give you all of the money that we just taxed you right back. And we're going to pull down federal dollars, and that'll let us have more money so that we can spend it on expanding the population for Medicaid and spend it on illegal immigrants. In fact, is spending more money in federal dollars in California that we send in federal dollars than the entire state of Florida spends in 1 year in their entire annual budget.
I'm starting to see a common theme here. Once the Democrats find an issue that the masses have more emotions about than they have knowledge
You can't hate the government enough, guys. This is unreal.
about, they frame themselves as the only solution, taking unlimited amounts of tax dollars for themselves without ever solving the issue.
This is what I mean. They don't care about your money. This is why increasing taxes isn't going to do anything. They're just going to steal it.
Now apply that.
That's what I've been saying like the whole time, is that the government is incredibly bad at using money. That's why I don't like taxes.
Same equation to green initiatives, education, overseas conflicts, and now immigration.
Because here's the thing, if a small town wants to increase, okay, listen, if a small town in California wants to increase the taxes so that they can whatever pay for their whatever social programs, then fine. I don't give a fuck, because they're like their own town, they're their own thing, they can do whatever they want, right? But when they make us pay for it, like in this example, they're being generous with my money and then calling me a bigot.
And suddenly their inconsistent ethics all start to make sense.
Get the fuck out of here. This is why I don't like taxes, because again, they're spending our money, our own money, to pretend to act like they're generous while they're also pocketing it and they're laundering it for their own uses. It's like, I don't want to be paying for their political power. And, you know, again, like they use like a lot of emotional manipulation in order to get us to pay for it, right? Like, oh, like, don't you care about like this kid and like he's crying and like his you know, his mom is getting deported. Like, look how sad, like we're breaking up this family. Well, they shouldn't have been breaking the law. They shouldn't have been breaking the law in the first place. So like, here's the thing, like, would you apply this in any other situation, right? Let's say that the mom killed somebody. What are you gonna say, like, oh, but the husband is sad that she's getting taken away and the kid is crying, so like, oh, like we should just let her go then? Like, there's no consistency at all behind it, right? Like, you know, obviously I use an extreme example just to like illustrate my point, right? Put it this way, like if you have a squatter in your house and they have like, you know, they have a kid, and then you know, you kick them out, and like, what, are you supposed to feel bad now because they have a kid? Then they shouldn't have broken into your house in the first place. Right? It's the same thing with, you know, America as an entire country. This is our country, and you broke in. It's not even like we don't have a policy where you can sign up and come in. You like literally came in, you broke the law, you disrespected us and our laws in order to come here. That's how I feel about it.
Not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30.